Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dune Awakening video. Today's video is quite a treat, and it's going to be rounding out our year 2025. A common question on my speedrun videos is what is the fastest build in Dune Awakening? And today we're here to find out. After running deep desert labs for hundreds of hours, I have concluded that these two builds consistently set the fastest times. The first build that we will feature in no particular order, I call the Bene Inspiration build. Bene meaning that it's a Bene Gesserit class specific build, including 2 Bene Gesserit abilities, and Inspiration being the third. Obviously there are many ways to play the Bene Gesserit class, but I have found that this particular setup is definitely the fastest. So that brings us to the official start of wave number 1. I have found that the sword is the ultimate combination with the Compel ability, as the heavy attack puts them to sleep before they even wake up. Our second Bene Gesserit ability is the Weirding Step. You can instantly teleport behind your enemy even if they're on the other side of the room, a must pick for any Bene Gesserit speedrun build. This video is going to be different from my other videos as it will feature 2 builds in one, so please stay tuned for the second half as well. Both builds will have links in the description. So a quick sip of water and a run around the room to check for stragglers. That brings us to the official start of wave number 2. I tried many times to use the knee charge instead of Inspiration as the third ability. Inspiration is crucial for those times when we lose spice prescience during a run. The knee charge is still a viable option, but we're looking for the fastest. The knee charge has great mobility, but in those times where we lose spice prescience, we need that extra damage. So that's how I decided on the 3 abilities and weapon for this build. Inspiration is not as important now that we have spice prescience, but as soon as we lose it, it's most crucial. Figuring out the fastest build without spice prescience would also be interesting, but I think we'll save that for another video. I try to include every bit of footage from these runs with no edits. So we wait patiently for the start of wave number 3. So the strategy is we inspire up at the start of each round and take out the melee. If you ever catch a ranged on their own, it's always a good option to take them out too. The name of the game is to isolate your prey and slay away. And if you can't get to them, you can always bring them to you. The ability to be able to teleport and to summon is such a fun playstyle. And this is what differs to our second Swordmaster build. But we will get to that shortly. Trying to include every piece of footage for verification purposes. That brings us to the official start of wave number 4. We only have a limited amount of spice prescience remaining, but you can see the Screech passive doing work here, affecting all NPCs in the area. I have found with spice prescience activated, NPCs are much less likely to dart out of slow blades, making spice a crucial option in speedrun builds. Again, for anybody thinking that builds shouldn't be based around spice, we'll save that for another video. So right here, spice ran out. And just a heads up that this makes things considerably more difficult. But while we don't have our purple boost, it's good to have our red one. I tried many different variations with something else in that third slot, but inspiration was always the fastest. So a quick run around the room confirms there's no more stragglers, and that brings us to the official start of wave number 5, the final round. So unfortunately, no spice or inspiration for the start of this round. And here's an example of why that sucks. 9 times out of 10, the melee will dash out of your second slow blade. This makes the non-spice portion of the run take considerably longer. But when inspiration comes back, it's nothing we can't handle. A nice little triple on the stairs there. So it was at this point I thought I had time to re-spice before the end of the run. But as you will see, there was no real point in the end. Compel is just not as effective without spice activated. This is because the Screech passive does not work without it. But we do still have our inspiration, so let's finish them off. I might have got a little carried away confirming that kill, and the armor took a bit of a hit. But nothing a small health kit and a stamina regen can't fix. Compel lets you pull the heavies out of line of sight so you can deal them the triple slow blade. Feels so good. Without spice, these heavies just take that little bit longer to finish. But this run was still on track to be the fastest circular control room I've ever done. The previous record was an 8 minutes 57 set by the Swordmaster class. I wasn't actually sure if there were many more enemies after this one, so I activated spice just to be safe and finished him off. To give us an official 8 minutes 30 circular control room using the Bene Gesserit class. All the exact details of the build will be in a link in the description of the video. Now that we've seen the Bene inspiration, it's time for the Swordmaster step. You'll notice that there's 3 key differences between the 2 builds. And the first is the third ability, the knee charge. While the other 2 key differences would be the armor set and the weapon. The Swordmaster benefits heavily from the Replica Pulse Knife over the Replica Pulse Sword. And I know that's ironic, but it's just the way it works with the skills. The fast pace of the knee charge and the knife go hand in hand, whereas Compel and the sword were the perfect duo. Personally, I like the way the sword feels, but there's just something special about combining Weeding Step, knee charge, and the knife. Throw inspiration into the mix and you have one ultra-fast speedrun build. So after our first official mandatory reset of this round, that brings us to the official start of wave number 1. So let's inspire up, Weeding Step, and knee charge our way through the lab. I saw an opportunity here to take out this melee on the lower level before he came up and became a nuisance. And you can see here the knee charge being used both defensively and offensively. All three abilities allow you to keep constant pressure on the enemy. You're almost so fast they don't even have a chance to fight back. That was one of the fastest wave clears I've ever done of the circular control room. And that brings us to the start of wave number 2. You guys can rest assured that I have been working hard all week to come up with the 2 best possible runs for both builds. I wanted to give both builds a chance to do their absolute best, and I thought it was important that all the tests were run within the same lab in the same week. All the information in this video is as of today's recording, but with Chapter 3 on the way, there will be a massive amount of changes coming to the game. Augments and skill specializations will bring us countless ways to change up our build, but as we come to the end of 2025, these are the best of the best. I know that the ranged builds aren't going to get much love in this video, but remember the focus here is speedrunning. So after the mandatory reset, it's now time for wave number 3. So let's inspire up and keep that pressure on. Weeding step the melee as soon as they split from the ranged. Try your best to avoid getting pushed when you weeding step between these 2 ranged. The light attack animation from the knife gives them no breathing room. And the weeding step gives a small stun as well as being a teleportation move. Give this guy a little knee for trying to hide. And we can make light work of this heavy with the weeding step slow blade combo. And if that doesn't finish him, we can follow up with the knee. Wait for them to drop their shield to do the most amount of damage. So that's 4 minutes into the run, and that gets us to the official start of wave number 4. This round spawns lots of melee for us to deal with. Every time you initiate a slow blade, you must be ready for the follow-up. You always have to try and stay one step ahead. A very common question I receive on my build videos is, are the class armors more beneficial than a T6 pincushion set? And my answer always comes down to survivability. The ability cooldown reduction means nothing if you can't stay alive. And I need to stress that as I'm practicing for these videos, I died countless times. These labs are not tuned for solo play like the ones in Chapter 3 will be. The enemies are designed to be fighting a small group, not one person. So you have to be extremely knowledgeable and extremely lucky to be able to pull off one of these runs. Think of the footage and the time set more as entertainment, but the builds themselves are 100% viable and can be used by anyone, with any armor set you like. The only things you really need to stay true to the build would be the skills, the passives, and the weapon. The best thing about both these builds is they have the exact same techniques, which makes switching between the 2 seamless. They are manipulate instability, center of mass, and disciplined breathing. During this fight, we lost spice prescience, and you'll notice we don't get a chance to spice up again. So as we finally clear the last of the heavies, that brings us to the official start of wave number 5, the final round. No inspiration or spice for the start of this round, so everything's going to be that little bit more difficult. This wave can be absolute chaos sometimes. It's important to stay calm and find cover till your shields return. Let's inspire up to make that melee damage hit that little bit harder. Nice triple there while inspiration was activated. And if Spice Prescience was activated, we could have finished that heavy as well. A light attack combo here to finish this ranged. Now we have to do something about these flamethrowers. Let's inspire up and quickly finish off this one. But wait, there's more. Don't you guys know I'm trying to do a speedrun? Using the correct timing is crucial when fighting 3 range this close together. Oh yeah, and try not to run out of stamina. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an official sub 8 circular control room using the Swordmaster class. I would not have believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. On my last sub 9 control room video, somebody joked and said sub 8 when? Sub 8 is today. Now the footage is going to show both builds equipped at once, but I will break them up with build links in the video description below. But I will also include a build link of the overall build including both, the Mega Speedrun build. This will give you the option to switch between playstyles and weapons within the same week, or cooldown period. Otherwise you can choose one or the other and have plenty of points left over to play with. Going over to our weapons and gear, we have the Ginar's light armor set for the Swordmaster, giving us 7% ability cooldown on the knee charge and inspiration. A Mark V Holtzman shield and Mark VI power pack. And the weapon of choice for the Swordmaster step build, the Replica Pulse Knife. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here. If you found the video informative, entertaining, or even both, please give it a like. And if it's your first time here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, as we would love to have you. So last week I featured what I dubbed as the bullshit base, and it was situated outside last week's D4 lab. This week, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say bullshit base has a little bit of an upgrade. At the start of the week, as I was practicing for my runs, I was using a Fades Drinker knife. And I had a Baron's Blood bag in my inventory. Each time I would make contact while fighting in melee, the blood bag would fill. This gave me the idea to add a blood purifier and water cisterns to the bullshit base. By setting the cisterns to public, I'm able to give back to the desert. That has given me so much. With the Baron's Blood bag in my inventory and the Fades Drinker equipped, we can farm the labs for water as well as loot. I was feeling very wholesome this week with my cute little base and my new method, until this happened. I somehow aggroed the worm as I was heading to my base, but thought to myself, there's no way. I wanted to bait for some worm sign, and I regretted my decision. What the... Anyway, 2025 was quite an action-packed year, and 2026 is set to be even bigger. Thank you for making it to the true end of this video. And I will definitely see you on the next one in 2026.